Wife had been flirting with her coworker. She said she would stop, but it just happened again. Is there any future in this relationship? My wife and I have been married for a little over 3 years. Last Christmas, I discovered she had been having a lengthy discussion with a colleague in which they discussed having numerous times and how they couldn't wait for the next one. The man said that he planned to reserve a hotel near their business shortly after Christmas. When he mentioned he was looking forward to seeing my wife, she would respond with comments like, "I'm looking forward to much more than just seeing you," and so on. You get the picture. Excessively flirtatious, and when I approached my wife, she denied having had the chat. She showed me her phone after she deleted it to verify it didn't exist. But I had taken a few photographs. She then claimed that everything was virtual and that they never did anything bodily. To illustrate her point, she messaged her colleague in front of me and asked whether he had booked the hotel, to which he answered, "Not yet." She then questioned whether he was sure they were going to meet, to which he answered no. She vowed they would never speak again, and I agreed because I loved her and wanted to believe her. But I wasn't fully certain she had been truthful. I must confess that I checked her phones much too often for a few weeks, so she changed her password, which I was all right with since I was probably being too worried. I picked up her phone this week because I required a code that had been provided to her phone number. I didn't even have to unlock the screen to access it. Surprisingly, there were further messages from the same individual behind the message with the code. One was an audio, the second was a shirtless picture of himself in front of a mirror, and the third was sweaty with a few tongue emojis. I questioned her since she had promised they wouldn't communicate again, and she said that he only wanted to show her that he's going to the gym to demonstrate improvement. But the majority of the time they chat, it's about work, and this is simply a coincidence. I begged her to show me the remainder of their texts, but she stated she had wiped their chat history by accident. My wife claims she'll change this time and that I never really forgiven her, which is why she continued talking to the man. She swears she's going to quit this time, but I'm not sure I believe her. Even if she does stop, I'm afraid she'll do it again when things aren't going so well between us. I adore her, but I can't keep living like this. Is there any case where this might work? What would your reaction be? Update. To consider things through, I relocated to an Airbnb and then to my family's house. It was a dreadful moment, yet a psychologist assisted me in recovering from a bad mental condition. It happened at the same time as the pandemic struck my city hard. I received the virus, which didn't help. During this time, we continued to converse, and my wife apologized profusely and said that they had not met. I knew it wasn't real, but I was prepared to forgive the lady of my dreams, who remained at my universe's highest altar. Fast forward to last Saturday morning, when I returned to our apartment, determined to forgive her and work things out in the most adult manner imaginable. And, well, there she was, but I was the one who was taken aback, to say the least. My wife and the man were both nude in my home. The man in the texts, the one in the photos. She said she didn't even enjoy it. He was hidden in my bathroom as my wife was putting on her pajamas. When I saw him hiding in my restroom, he apologized. "Sorry, buddy." For a split second, I wondered, is this where I'm going to murder him? But I immediately said, I have nothing against you, since the guy was really crushing on this lovely lady. Even if he was doing it in a home full of my photos. Photographs from our wedding and our family. Images of my deceased father, who would be heartbroken to see how the marriage he never saw would end. He has always been the driving force behind my efforts to make the world a better place. 2 months before our wedding, he died away. I apologize. I still adore her to the moon and back, but I've come to realize that enough is enough. Even if my universe falls apart, I hope I can rebuild a new one that isn't based on falsehoods and in which I'm not simply a blind believer worshipping a fictitious deity. Story 2. My cheating STBXH plays the victim and blames me for his current situation. I found my STBXH romance nearly 9 months ago. He abandoned me and our kid 2 weeks after our discovery. He went on vacation with the OW after our daughter's 6th birthday, and when he returned, he relocated to his new city studio apartment. I was a shambles at first. I was unable to eat or sleep. I sobbed all day and night. My kid learned about the affair because he made it public. She also grieved practically every night, wondering why Daddy always chose OW over her though she was his child. We've had more time, and we're doing much better now. My daughter and I are in counseling, but we are still working on it. In May, I filed for divorce with a written legal separation agreement. I've worked on myself since then. I cleaned up my house, got rid of a lot of his things and I'm still working on it, redecorated, and finished a lot of repairs on both the inside and outside of my property. He isn't on the title to this home, therefore it's all mine now. It has a unique appearance and feels like my own area. My kid began attending in-person school and gained new acquaintances. I also kept her busy with family activities to tell her that she is loved despite her father's departure. I tell her every day that I love her and would never abandon her. My STBXH has noticed the changes in my house and has said things like, "You're definitely trying to forget about me." When I served him with papers, he seemed taken aback. "I didn't believe we'd divorce," he remarked. "It was as if, really, you cheated, left us for OW, and didn't expect anything to happen." He recently told me that I forced him out since he was the one who went to be alone. When I went to his place to drop off some items, the OW was there. So much for being alone myself. Anyway, he said that it is my responsibility that his life has turned out the way it has. He is now experiencing financial difficulties. I know he's worried about it, but it's not my issue. He made his decisions, and I even provided him suggestions on how he might assist himself. I took care of everything while he was at home, you see. We both earn decent money, but I make more and constantly take things out for myself so we can make ends meet. He continued to spend whatever he pleased, and I would pay off his credit card every month, which was generally around 3.5-4K. I know it's my fault, and I spoiled him, but his present financial position isn't my concern. Then he says something contradicting, such as how he believed leaving would make him happier. But now he is unhappy and the grass isn't greener. He likes to throw pity parties, and I'm sick of it. It was like pulling teeth when I urged him to just be there for our kid and step up. As a parent, I ask him questions that need his answer, and he ignores them. It's constantly about visitation schedules and choices about our daughter's activities or health appointments. He never gives me feedback when I ask for it, and when I do, he curses at me. He just refuses to accept any responsibility. It's come to the point where he threatens my family with violence. It's ludicrous, and he'll probably get a power trip for just responding to what he wants. I urge my daughter to spend time with her father because I believe it is important for her to have a connection with him. Now I'm having second thoughts about it. I even went so far as to let him inside my house so they could spend time together in her playroom. I bend and attempt to make accommodations so our kid may spend time with her father, but enough is enough. His conduct is deteriorating, and I need to set more limits. He definitely has no regard for me. When he comes into my house, he doesn't even recognize my existence. Because he doesn't know how to be an adult, he doesn't say anything or even look at me. He only communicates with me through text. He freaked out the other day when I told him my brother was coming to my place on Saturday, which happened to be his visiting day. My brother is on his way to assist me with yard chores. My STBXH reaction was to curse at me and threaten to knock my brother out if he tried to come in between his visits. I informed him that my brother would not be able to attend, so I would go out to dinner with our daughter instead. He has choices. He is envious of my brother since my daughter spends time with him and her relatives doing family activities. My kid was so taken with it that she tells everyone about her wonderful uncle and auntie. Not only does he believe I brainwash our kid, but he also believes my family does. So now comes the pity party in which he declares to the world that he has no family. He doesn't even consider his own kid, and he was the one who threw everyone out, including his parents and our friends. He claims that he has no one besides the OW. The cognitive dissonance is palpable. The unwillingness to accept responsibility is absurd. I'm pulling away and erecting additional barriers around myself because he's becoming rude and nasty. Enough now.